Welcome to the Board Game Spotlight Podcast. Get ready for an entire hour of gaming goodness, brought to you by our incredible sponsors: IV Studios, Fireside Games, Van Ryder Games, Renegade Game Studios, Mythic Games, This Little Bean of Mine, Game Toppers LLC, KickTraq, Arcane Wonders, AEG, Draw Lab Entertainment, and of course, our amazing Patreon supporters. This podcast would not be possible without you. And now, here are your hosts, Derek and Lizzie Funkhauser.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Board Game Spotlight Podcast. I'm Derek.
I'm Lizzie.
I'm Ruel.
And I'm James.
Hey! Avengers Assemble. Welcome back to the show, James.
It's been a hot minute, as the kids say. I don't think the kids say that anymore, actually. I think that's over with.
Well, maybe our kid, maybe our generation does, but
Absolutely.
When we were kids.
It's been, I think the last time you were on one of the shows was back when we had the original podcast, right? When we were originally doing it there for about a year or two.
Yeah. It's been a
I haven't
long
been
time
on in 2.0.
And then the world kind of collapsed, and then we all kind of figured out what to do with our lives. Like, I feel like Ricky Bobby, what do I do with my hands? Like, what do I do? So for those of you who don't know who James is, I'm sure you've probably seen him on the interwebs. He is now running Druid City Games and has a lot of awesome games coming out. I think Tidal Blades Banner Festival is your new one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the status on that?
Pre-order should open by the time people hear this. Hopefully, it's fingers crossed. I'm trying to lock in one or two last details to make things good to go, and then hopefully it'll be coming to retail late in the fall. Like right now, it's probably somewhere around Essen. With stuff getting on the water and getting in the boats, like we just kind of throw darts at the board and go, I think it'll land about this time.
Kind of finger to the wind.
Some people, this is really easy. So,
super duper easy. Absolutely. It's the easiest thing in the world.
I should just get better at my job. I should just get better.
Pretty much. Maybe read a few.
You're not wrong about that part.
Read a few blog posts from Jamie Stegmaier. I don't know if you know who Jamie is, but he's got some really good stuff out there.
You've heard that name once or twice.
Yeah. So we're just going to kind of talk about what we've been up to the last few weeks. Ruel, what's going on new in your world?
Wow. I've been doing stuff for the Rahdo Runs Through channel the last year or so, and we've dialed down our schedule just with some personal and professional stuff going on. So we were doing a weekly live stream that's now monthly. And one cool thing is that I'm doing more actual run-throughs on the channel rather than just, talking about games every week. So just yesterday, I had Monique from Before You Play over here in the studio, and we played through Trick Draw, which is a cool little card game that's already funded on Kickstarter. It's out, and we did that for Rahdo's channel. So, I've been juggling that with my own channel, Tabletop Tonight, on Twitch, doing run-throughs there, and working with the Tabletop Live Network. That's the organization I co-founded with the brothers Murph, and we do a monthly event where we get streamers from around the world to collaborate, and we do a big 24-hour stream, which has been going great. But we decided to dial it back a bit with the convention season coming up. We decided to go 12 hours per event, so it's still 6 streamers doing 2-hour shifts. It's still pretty awesome. But we realize the workload for all of us is a little insane, so we need to take a moment for ourselves and step back a little bit. And we're still playing a ton of games. It's just, we need to figure out a more sustainable schedule, so that's what I've been up to these days. What about yourselves?
Well, we have been playing a decent amount of games. I mean, comparatively. We got, what is the Magic Mountain?
Oh, Magic Mountain from, who did that? Amigo, maybe?
It's a kid's game.
It's a kid's game.
Our son has it. It's basically, there's little witches on a mountain, and there's little students. And it's a Plinko where you drop colored marbles down and then they hit the students. Ooh. And then you move them down. There's matching spots for the colors. And you're trying to get 4 of your students to the bottom before 3 of the witches end up at the bottom. Really cute, really simple
cooperative game. Yeah.
So we've been playing a lot of that with our son. He's very into it. He loves it.
Nice.
He brought it over to me.
You had me at Plinko.
House.
I love the Plinko mechanism. That's so fun.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, that game Drop It. Remember that one? That was fantastic.
Yes.
I love that game.
Drop It was great.
Drop It is super fun.
Yeah, we played Junk Orbit.
Yep,
For the
been playing
first time.
Junk Orbit from Renegade for the first time. That was pretty fun. I liked that pickup and delivery system. What I really like about that system is like the whole you push junk. If you've not played, you push junk and then your ship has to go the opposite direction. So it's got some nice like sciencey stuff happening there.
Even amounts. So like you push something 3 forward, you go like 3
the other way. Yeah, so very
it's a nice
thematic.
puzzle.
Yeah, Moonrakers.
Moonrakers,
Yeah.
So the new
yeah.
expansion.
Yeah, I mean we'll get more into depth there on the topper, but we've been playing that. But other than that, I'm getting ready for Gen Con, right? That's right around the corner. I know Dice Tower East is going on right now this weekend. I wish I was there, but
Do you?
I mean, kind of. I have a lot of friends there. It would have been fun to see everybody again, but it's not a great show to kind of work at. It's more of a go play games.
Yeah, and you would be working.
I mean, any time to play games. I mean, I think the last time I was there, we played games till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, we're hoping to have friends this weekend to have our own little mini convention if it works out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So
yeah, do a little mini con here this weekend. So
that's the plan.
Good. And James, what do you got coming up soon? I think you mentioned you might be going to San Diego Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, we're headed down to San Diego Comic-Con for Title Blades RPG is going to be Latia is coming in from Monty Cook Games, is going to DM with B. Dave Walters, Markia, Sage Ryan. It's like an all-star lineup. And get this, hold on. This is pretty cool. Johnny Stockton, the fullback for the Cleveland Browns, is going to be playing on the panel. Apparently, dude is a huge nerd. Loves D&D, painting minis. I mean, you look at his profile, he is like jocked up meathead bro. And at first glance, you'd be like, that's no D&D kid. But you know what? Appearances can be deceiving.
Absolutely.
And so
Cool.
I thought that was pretty cool. Ross Thompson helped get us some things lined up down there. Also speaking in a panel about crowdfunding, so I can tell people that it's super easy and shipping is free and everything's fine. So just come in here and come in
if
with
you like
ideas.
a game, you should just support them and choose not to knock back Kickstarters, right? I mean, let people do what they want to do. Have fun. Enjoy your life.
Hoping for the rest of the year. I hope to get to Essen, PAX Unplugged. I don't think I'm going to be able to make Gen Con, but I do know because I'm partnered with Lucky Duck Games on Banner Festival. I know people have been asking. Banner Festival should be on demo with Bree and her crew at Gen Con. So I'll be there in spirit.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, I saw that on the table at Dice Tower.
I want to see that.
Someone posted it in the spotlight.
This is totally separate. I'm going up. Maybe I'm not supposed to talk about this. I don't know. Who cares? Lincoln. I'm going up to Lincoln's place, and we're going to film for game night a little game called Wonderland's War.
Nice.
Cool. Right
That's
on.
awesome.
They asked me to teach it, and I laughed. I was like, I guess, sure, no problem. I guess I'll read the rule book this week. And he's like, are you serious? And I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. Because the problem is, so here's the problem. When you make games, there are 38 versions of the game in your head. And sometimes I forget what we settled on is the rule. So they're like, well, I need you to teach it. And I was like, well, I haven't played or taught this game in like 6, 7, 8 months. So, because that's the unfortunate part of when the games that we make, we don't get to really go back and play them that much because we're working on our new games that are coming out. Like right now, I'm elbow deep in Bloodstone, Title Blades 2, Banner Festival, some other unnamed projects. And that's just the way it is, right? So anyway, I got to go read the rule book for my game.
I did that same thing. So when we were at Geekway and Jamie wanted to play it, like I was going to teach it to some friends and I was like, I need to read the rule book because just like you said, James, I don't really remember what, like, we played so many different versions of the characters and so many different versions of this does this or then this, like just little minor tweaks. And it's like, I got to read the rule book because I don't want to teach Jamie incorrectly. So I pulled it out and I'm reading it. And I'm like, okay. All right. I remember this.
Luckily with Wonderland's War, we can just hand people the flow chart. It's like, it's just easier if you just look at the flow chart on your own. Don't worry about what I think.
Flow chart is so great. Super awesome. Very good.
But I mean, the game came back to us. We did fine.
Oh yeah, it was great.
It was a good game. It was. I forgot how much I loved the game. Like I already knew I loved it.
You crushed Jamie, but it was fun.
I crushed everyone. To be fair, I beat everyone by like 50.
But the most important part in that game was that like Jamie and the two others we played with literally were like 3 points apart.
They were all
like right
so
there.
Like first game, learning game for them. They all did really well. I
super fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Derek was like focused on making sure the rules were good and everyone was like knew what they were doing, and I was just like, I'm gonna win. Sorry, everyone, but I'm just quietly sitting there crushing everyone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's how it works. Currently, that's what she's doing to me right now in Star Realms: Rise of Empire. She is crushing my soul in this game. We're playing through the campaign. I don't want to give anything away, but we're having a lot of fun with that. So that's going to be really fun.
Okay.
And it's actually I've kind of come back a little bit here. I've made a little bit of a comeback with some of the catch up mechanisms we've got that are gonna come up in the game. So, well, let's go into what we love. Let's talk about the games we've been playing.
On the Toppers, brought to you by Game Toppers LLC. Game Toppers are a portable gaming top that converts your existing table into a high-quality yet affordable gaming solution.
Who wants to go first? I'll go first.
There you go.
I'll break the ice. So for us, Moonrakers. So we just did a live stream last week for the new expansions.
Well, 2 of them.
2 of the new expansions. There's 4. And that was so much fun.
Yeah, so that comes out on the 19th. So it will probably be live when this episode is.
It comes out July 19th?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get them out at the same time, so you can go check it out.
Well, at least when you're listening to this video, that campaign will be live. And that game, has anybody else played it? Have you guys played Moonraker?
The base,
At least,
the base game.
The base game, yep.
The base game.
Yeah.
The base game. I've been a big fan of the base game since it released. I love the deck building. The negotiation part is fun. And I'm not really a negotiation player, but I like that I can kind of like get some stuff here or there, or kind of maybe make somebody fail and kind of feel trickery, like, and be like, but then they get me and it's like, okay, well, fair is fair. But the new expansion, one of the best parts about it, it really incentivizes the working together because there's a faction board. And so when you and another player complete a mission together, you get to gain reputation with their faction. And then you can spend that reputation for like some really, really good bonuses.
Nice.
So it's like, oh, I do want to actually.
You do want to work with them. And like there's 2 different tracks on it where you can like spend combined. So if you worked with 2 different people, you can like add that up to be like 3 points to spend something. Or if you've gone all the way up with 1 person, you can spend all of that reputation with that 1 person for like a higher prize. Yeah. So like it really incentivizes you to like pick people to work with.
Yeah. And then this week we're going to meet with the team from Ivy Studios to learn and cover the 4th expansion. They're codenaming it Luminor. So like there's not a whole lot of information out there yet. But we're meeting with them to cover that, and we'll be doing a video for that one.
Yeah, so, I know like nothing about it.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to meet with them tomorrow, so we'll figure it out.
That's so cool. I love Moonrakers. Yeah.
It's one of those games I really enjoyed. And I always felt like it needed a little something else. Like it's really good. I enjoyed it, but I was like, if it just had a little something. So it sounds like everything that you just said was like, that feels like a little something I was hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just a little sprinkle.
Yep. And it's one of those things too. I think, I have the new expansions. I'm actually secret, folks. I'll be not only live streaming on my channel, but I'm working with Becca Scott. We're filming a video this weekend about it. It's going to be awesome on the Good Time Society. Yeah, just looking through the rules and stuff, I feel like what James was saying, it added that little touch that's going to take it, from, it's a terrific game, but now it's going to, oh, wow, now it's going to be really, really good. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, the expansion's like, it's one of those expansions where I don't, like, I'm hit or miss on some expansions for games because the expansion has to elevate the base game, not fix the base game. Yep. And for this one, it's like, I don't want to play the base game without the expansions now, or at least the expansions we've played with. So I think it just really makes it more of a complete package, which I really like. So,
yeah.
And Ivy Studios, they're knocking out of the park as far as like production value and components and artwork. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful game.
Yeah. Zach and Austin, they do a really great job.
Yeah, I actually just got the Veiled Fate not too long ago from them. And like you're saying, the production value is just so good. Just so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I really want to play Veiled Fate. Like, what's the max count? Is it 8 or is it 6?
I think it's 8. I think it's 3 to 8. I feel like.
Yeah,
I've got it on the thing over here.
Yeah, I played a game of 6 on TTS and it was a lot of fun, but I would love to play like the actual game with 8 players. Like, oh my gosh, it's such a fun game.
Real, come on down.
That's right. Yes.
Get right on
Oh my
over.
gosh, let's do it.
I volunteer Shu and Christina from Going Out Along's house. Over there. They wanted to play it too, right?
Fun.
So we might as well call everybody in the room and get it played.
I love it. Yeah.
There you go. And Gen Con's coming up, Ruel. I'll see you there. You know, I'll be gaming in the evening. So
yeah, they'll be out there too. We'll figure something out to play.
We'll have to figure out a time to get together.
For sure.
Derek, I feel like at Gen Con, we got to play some kind of Star Wars themed game, man. It's something. I'll bring something. A little card game or
Star Wars love letter. Throw it in your bag.
Yeah, they're perfect. Perfect. I think that's perfect. I'll bring my copy.
I'll play it. I love love letter. I'll play it.
Yeah.
Outer Rim and the expansion. Just throw in your bag. Easy peasy.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Outer Rim. Yeah, I'm driving, so I'll be able to bring some games if I need to.
The fact that you bring games to Gen Con, though, just like...
You know what? That's a great point.
Mind.
That's a great point. I'm not going to bring any games. I'm just going to buy all the ones there at Gen Con, so I'll be good. I'll be like, this one.
Nice.
I'm only going to be there like 2 days, so there's only so much I can do to stop him.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. No, we definitely should do something Star Wars, though. That'd be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Did we talk about the finale to Obi-Wan yet, Ruel?
We did not. I've been, sort of like I've been keeping my mouth shut. I'm not trying to turn this into a Star Wars podcast, but oh my goodness, that's all I'm going to say.
We want to keep it spoiler free.
No spoilers.
Yeah, of course.
But those last 2 episodes were so good.
Chef's kiss.
So cool.
Chef's kiss.
So cool.
It's funny, and I'm going to speak on this, but I don't think it'll be spoiled. But you know what? Just skip forward until you don't hear Star Wars words anymore. If you don't want anything, right? I saw a lot of complaints of people saying, "Well, there was just no stakes. We already know where these characters end up, so there's no stakes."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Yeah, but these are 2 of the most beloved characters, and more than 2, right? A lot more than 2, but like these are beloved characters." And so, like, don't you like knowing the connective tissue of how and why they got to where they were, and these little droplets of good story along the way? And I honestly think some people don't care about that sort of thing. But I think for us that are right and good, we did enjoy it. So it was great.
I think that's it exactly, James. It fleshes out these characters that we've grown to know and love for so many years, and it really. In the case of Obi-Wan and Anakin, it really cemented it fleshed out the relationship and also the backstories behind them. And, I remember seeing the prequels back in the episodes 1, 2, and 3. I felt the same way for it's like, well, we know exactly what's going to happen, but Revenge of the Sith, when the things happened, I was still at the edge of my seat. Oh my gosh, we're seeing exactly what's happening. And it was mind blowing at the time. It still is,
Yeah.
For me, it's like the visual, like we kind of know these things were happening, right? But like it's the seeing them and seeing it played out and seeing the emotion put behind both of those characters and how Obi-Wan is just torn to lose who he considered his brother and to finally, come to terms with like, hey, he's gone and he's no longer there.
I think there's a lot of people who didn't watch Clone Wars or Rebels. And, there's just... because they see animation or I don't want to watch a kid thing. And I'll be honest, the first 2 seasons of Clone Wars is a super drag to get through. But those last 5 seasons, I mean, they're just like crushing so much lore and backstory. And same thing with Rebels. That first season, yes, they're introducing brand new characters that none of us knew. So they spend a whole season setting up those characters. And it does feel very YA or young adult, as they say. But then from there, it's just like dripping in fantastic Mandalore story, the spiritual side of the Force. I'm like, and Darth Maul, it was so good.
Yeah,
and so I mean, if you like
the Phoenix Squad and everything,
yeah.
There's so much cool stuff out there. I mean, in actually recently, I don't know if you saw the article that Taika Waititi was talking about, where he's like he wants to create Star Wars movies that don't deal with like these big name characters anymore. And he wants to tell stories about like new characters or people that people don't really know a whole lot about. So I'm for that.
Yeah, I'm 100% for that.
Anything Waititi does. Like, he could paint a wall, and I would be like, "This is fascinating. This is amazing. Thank you."
Because he would do something awesome, like how he would choose to paint it. Like
he's just like an incredible creator. I love everything he does. So I mean, I would give him a chance on anything.
Yeah, he's
well.
brilliant.
I mean, I think Rebels is a great series that even proves that theory from him, right? Like those were all brand new characters, and me personally, like I've even got. You're listening, you can't hear, but like I'm buying stickers of Kanan Jarrus and Hera. Like I'm contemplating a Kanan Jarrus Hera tattoo, sleeve tattoo. Like Rebels, I think is my favorite Star Wars stuff. Like I don't know the series, whatever, but like those characters are so well done. And for people who haven't watched Rebels, I'm full on evangelizing this right now. Like it is one of the most epic endings to it's probably the most tear-jerking love story. I mean, I boo-hooed like a baby, and it's so good. The writing is so good. Oh, so good. You don't watch Rebels, you suck.
I love it. There it is.
Hang on.
There it is. That's the tagline for the
I'm not
podcast.
opinionated though.
If you haven't watched Rebels, you suck. That's the new podcast. There it is. No, but it's so good. It gives to me, the Rebels entire series is like up there with Avatar. Like it's just super good. It's so good. And especially if you like Star Wars, I mean, there's no reason why you have to watch. I mean, you got to watch.
So welcome to our Star Wars podcast. This is James. And
you have full-on pivoted.
I tried my best not to do it, but here it is.
Sorry. Me and Ruel did it again.
Oh, I think James helped.
And James
definitely helped on this one. You know
I
what?
wasn't a part of the past podcast. So I don't have any
team effort.
No.
Here's one thing I wanted to say. This is actually non-Star Wars related. Star Trek, the Strange New Worlds. Have you watched that show? My goodness.
I have not, but I've heard it's really good.
It is outstanding. Like for me, like I grew up on old school, like the TOS, the original series. I think this show captures that feeling of that original show, and it does it in a way that's fresh and modern. And I love serialized storytelling. They're not doing serialized storytelling. Each episode is its own self-contained episode.
I like episodes like that.
And I love it. You can totally drop in at any time. It's like, okay, I get this show. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and Ruel's great. If you like serialized, you just watch Discovery, right? Because it's there, right? And I think they've done such a good job of giving the fans a little bit of everything that they want, right? Because you're right.
Yes.
I mean, it definitely feels like we just stepped back into the 1960s and we're watching OG but with new updated stuff. And it's always just so fun. Like seeing O'Hara, as a rookie and like get Spock and all this, the young, the prequel kind of vibe. So anyway,
so good. Yeah.
I'll have to take a look at it. I've enjoyed the Star Trek stuff I've seen, so I'll have to look at it.
I've seen the movies.
Well, I mean, I've seen some of the old TV shows and the movies, but
extent of my
I've never been that kind of person. It's like, oh, it has to be all or nothing. Like Star Wars or Star Trek. Like I just like cool stuff. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
He does not discriminate.
Yeah, I'll be a.
Speaking of
Trek
cool
Wars
stuff, we are watching right now. We are like in the middle because it's the longest movie ever. But RRR on Netflix. Have you guys heard of this?
Oh,
Hollywood movie.
I've heard. Yes.
So it's a 3-hour
epic
saga. I mean, I don't know if you guys have any experience with Bollywood movies,
but
it is amazing.
It's pretty dang awesome.
Nice.
It's over the top, but not in a way that makes it feel like cringy or like weird.
It's Bollywood.
It's so well done. The storyline is so good. I mean, we still have 40 minutes left, and I am like,
I'm in the seat
on the edge of my seat. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm fully invested in where this story's going. So I really liked it.
Definitely check it out.
I really like it. We're going to finish it later.
Oh, yeah. It's a story about two guys and their friendship.
It's the best bromance ever.
It is. It is the best, the epitome of like a perfect bromance.
Well, I definitely want to check it out because I've been interested, and then I think you sold me. Like it was the last little nudge I needed to go, like put it in the queue of things that I'm watching. So
the hardest thing is just the length, right? I mean, 3 hours is hard to dedicate, but we just
that doesn't bother me. I'm like, I'll break it up into 3 nights, no big deal. whatever.
Right.
We
Actually,
gave our
it
kid
works
to
well.
to Derek's mom. We're like, here, we need, to
Well,
watch
the way
this
they've broken
movie.
up, it is kind of in 3 distinct parts. Because remember, like it does like that splash screen.
Yeah.
So you could easily do that. Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You could break it up.
There's like the romance, like each guy has their own like backstory of like
Like
where
a full hour for that person.
and then they have their like time together and like what's going. I mean, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil anything because
just go watch
it's very good. Like, yeah, definitely go watch it.
Hey, have you ever heard of this thing called a board game? I'm just kidding. I'm horrible at sidetracking. Ruel, what have you been playing?
Oh boy. So about Kenobi. No, I'm just kidding. Let's the last game that I played, and I played it I think 6 times now. Framework by Uwe Rosenberg. Pegasus Spiel just came out with it. It is the next iteration of Nova Luna and Sagani. It's the next one, so it shares very similar mechanisms, but you're drawing tiles out of a bag. So I have not played Sagani, but I did like Nova Luna a lot. I think I won the Spiel.
We have
was
Sagani
nominated. That I prefer this one over Nova Luna. I think the streamlined tile drafting is better. The puzzle. What I love about it, Derek, you'll appreciate it. It's colorblind friendly. They find Nova Luna. Yeah, Nova Luna I could not play because the colors were too similar. This one, they have frames that you're trying to match up and complete in adjacent, lines and stuff. And this time the frames are each double coated. You have like a yellow looks like a braid, green looks like, a plant or whatever, and then red looks like brick. They have different shapes and stuff. And you're just drawing tiles, building a tableau, and every tile has either a frame, a task, or both. And the task is, say, you have to have 4 yellow tiles adjacent to this tile. And then another one could be, 3 adjacent gray tiles or whatever. So as you build your tableau, all of a sudden it just like explodes in this like, mix of, I really want to get this tile next to this one, but I need this tile over here to complete this task. And it's basically a race. Everyone has 22 little scoring tokens. Every time you complete a task on your tableau, you put a scoring token down, and the first one to put all 22 of them wins the game.
Oh, cool.
Michelle and I live streamed it last week. We loved it. Right after the live stream went off air, we played it 3 more times. And then when Monique was here yesterday, we live streamed Trick Draw. Afterwards, we had lunch and we brought Framework, and she loved it too. We played a game there. Oh, nice. It's fantastic. I love Uwe Rosenberg games, and this one is on the lighter end, but it's still surprisingly puzzly. The actions are really simple, but then all of a sudden you're like in the game, and within like a few turns, like, whoa, this is way trickier than I thought. And I love games like that. And I think this is another hit for Uwe. That's Framework from Pegasus Spiel.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen some people talking about that online, so I'll have to keep an eye out for that. At least to play it.
Yeah. I actually played another game that was a favorite of mine last year. And it sort of sat in the back of the shelf recently until yesterday. We played Super Mega Lucky Box by Phil Walker Harding.
Love that one.
Yes, it's so wonderful. It is fantastic. A roll and write game. Too. Yeah, if y'all listening, if you played Silver and Gold, it's pretty much that without the Tetris pieces. And Phil Walker Harding concentrated more on like the combo stuff. So you're comboing, like you just marking off numbers. It's a roll and write bingo style. Everyone has a number 3. You mark off a 3 on your card. And as you complete rows and columns, you're going to get free stuff. You get like a free number you can put on another card, and you complete cards, you get points. You complete rows and columns, you get lightning bolts, which will mitigate numbers. So you can bump them up or bump them down depending on lightning bolts. And then you have the little moons that you can collect too. Those are in typical
like
Phil
Sushi
Walker
Go
style.
Yeah.
At the end, you have the most gets 6 points, the least loses 6 points. It always plays in like 15 to 20 minutes. And it's such a huge hit. I think I've played it at least 25 times since we got it. And it is still a hit. And it's a perfect filler game. And I'm a big Phil Walker Harding fan. He does great
too.
stuff.
I really want to try his new one. That's I've seen people talking about it from Target, the Planted, right? The one that's about land.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Michelle and I. That's another one I was going to talk about. Michelle and I got it. So it was. Here's the thing. People in my Discord. I have a Discord, and people in there said, "Hey, there's a new game at Target called Planted by Phil Walker Harding, but it doesn't come out till like next week." So I ran down there because people said that some of the Targets have sort of put them out by mistake. And I went down there. There was 4 copies. I picked up one. I was like, yes. And it was $20. It was so like for $20, the production, I was like, how the heck? I don't know if they're mispriced or something because now they're $30. And maybe it was just like a one-time sale.
I think it was a sale. Yeah.
Because like the components are amazing. Like you have like little canvas bags to hold each component. There's plastic pieces. There's wooden silkscreen pieces. And it's just a fun, like it's Sushi Go with resource management. It's a card drafting, resource management. You're growing plants. You collect resources every round, and then at the end of the round, you try to grow your plants. You play 4 rounds, about 25 minutes. Most points wins. It's wonderful. That's another one we played like back to back to back. Perfect, like family, family weight gateway style game. And I think it's just a notch above Sushi Go because you've got that resource management you've got to think about at the end of every round. So yeah, Planted is Phil Walker Harding. I could talk about his games.
Hopefully I'll play that on Friday because we got a friend who owns it that's going to come. I'll tell him, hey, put that in your bag.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I picked up at Geekway Phil Walker Harding's Llama Land, but I have not played it yet. But I've heard good things about it.
I haven't played that one either. I
so
really want
because it's a polyomino game, but you build up and then you put llamas on things, and I don't know. It's got llamas. Looks fun.
Yeah.
Is it like a good llama?
What's that?
Have you played anything besides your prototypes, James? Have you?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Marvel Dice Throne has taken over our home.
Oh, yes.
We have, I bet I've played 30 sessions of Marvel Dice Throne. We cannot get enough. There was a 4th of July gathering with some friends. I brought it with me, and Shu was there. I was like, hey, Shu, do you want to slip off into the dining room and play some Marvel Dice Throne? Like that's where we're at right now. That's where I just got back from dinner. Like Sandra took Stella over to play with some friends. And I looked at Parker. I was like, do you want to go to our favorite place to eat and take Marvel Dice Throne? He's like, yes. So, I mean, like we're there. Roxley, Manny, Nate, Gavin, they killed it. You know, I think there was a lot of conversations about, oh, this is just a cash grab. And once you've played it, you can see that each of the characters are individually designed. They're thematically designed. There's new mechanics. Like, I don't think people, I'm gonna tangent for half a second. I don't think people really understand what the term cash grab means. Cash grab means that you put no or little effort into a product and then you overprice it and you use momentum or whatever to sell. And so, like, if anybody puts any sort of effort into it, then it's automatically not a cash grab. Like, that just removes it, right? So, and or the product is of low quality and they know it and they still charge a premium. That's just not the case. Great mechanics, great components, beautiful art.
Yeah.
So they got my money on Santa versus Krampus. Like that was
I know, right? And then they dropped the metal dice on that campaign. It's like, wow.
I don't need the metal dice, but
yeah,
like watching, I watched Becca and Jake play it yesterday on 2-Player Tuesday. And first of all, I'm a Christmas nut. So like anything with Christmas stuff in it, I'm like, yep, give me that. But then watching, like, you can tell Manny was being such a goofball with those Santa abilities. There's like, what is it? Was like cheer and joy or like, some of it was hilarious.
Is there one like there's like Santa helper cards and stuff? Like there's elves and stuff now. I mean, it's it's super cool, super fun. I'm in because it's.
I mean, I hope they're able to keep doing stuff like this too, right? Like these little. I really like the one-off 1v1 little campaign.
Like the, what was it, Ninja and Treant and Ninja.
It's such a fun surprise because they like kept it so well under wraps, and then like a week before they're like, oh hey, there's gonna be something, and
they just dropped
it. They
did
a fantastic job with it. It's super cool. Yeah. We're gonna get a chance to live stream it on TTS
next week.
Yeah, nice.
So,
cool.
Super excited.
I even pinged Manny and individually. I was like, hey buddy. Some TTS. Would you like to play me? Would you like to play me sometime? He's like, yeah, TTS should be up like next week. I was like, good. The other thing that I'm working on is Blood on the Clock Tower. So that came in, and it's been a long process for that team to get that game out. And now I see why. I mean, they poured a lot of love into this box, and so I've been reading and trying to figure out like I know that if I'm going to get it played, I'm probably going to have to take up the storyteller mantle. And so I'm really trying to just get up to speed on everything about the game and how to run it so it can be done well. But if you like Werewolf, or let me pull that back. If you ever liked Werewolf, like maybe let's say like the first couple times you played Werewolf or Mafia, you like really liked it, and then it got old and stale and you moved on to other games. That story probably resonates with a lot of people. I think this is going to reignite your love for that genre, because they took everything that was wrong. I don't want to say wrong. They took everything that we didn't like about the game, and I don't want to say they fixed it, but they definitely addressed it. And it can get as in-depth and complicated as you want. There's 4 different scripts in the box. So you got a beginner script, you got 2 intermediate scripts, and then you've got like bonkers expert script where, there's probably going to be so much crap going on that you can't keep up with it. But the really cool thing that I think really makes it stand out is the storyteller. So the storyteller, their job isn't for either side to win. It's almost like a DM or GM in a D&D session. Their goal is to make for an epic conclusion. So early on, the good guys get behind. The storyteller is going to help the good guys kind of catch up, and then and vice versa. And so they help it get down to that big epic conclusion where people are getting those final votes in. And then you have a big, like, I can't believe you were the demon. Oh my God, you had us fooled. And there's a lot of things, like I know, like in Werewolf, when people are like put on the spot to lie, that makes them feel like, oh, no, thank you. And then it pushes them away. So in this, if like, let's say you pull the little thing out of the bag and you're the demon, right? That's the werewolf in this game, the demon. The storyteller, after when everybody's eyes are closed, kind of has a little meeting with the demon player and shows them a couple of characters that didn't get pulled from the bag. So essentially you get characters that you can bluff. You can say that you're that character from the beginning. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just like they handle so like, you're like, of course, why wouldn't you do that? Like that makes so much sense. Yeah. And then like the thing that always happens to me, because I'm outspoken and extrovert, people are like, James is probably the werewolf. So first night we're voting, we're killing him, getting him out of this game so he doesn't screw this up. Even if he's not, we'll be fine without him, But now all the players have special powers. So if I'm like, listen, I'm the soldier, you don't want to get rid of me because I do blah, blah, blah. What's really great is so you can do a vote. And if you get like, I get 4 votes, people can keep nominating. Okay. And then let's say, well, we nominate Derek and he gets 5 votes. And this is all in the same round. And whoever ends up getting the most votes is the person who actually gets kicked out or whatever. But then you're not out of the game. You still get to participate. Anyway, okay, I went on. But, I think there's a reason Shut Up and Sit Down, like 3 years ago when they got to play a prototype of this, they freaked out, right? They freaked out and they made a big deal about it. And I see why. I mean, not only is the game mechanics sound more interesting, and I'm excited to probably at least run some of these and see how things go, but this production it's super, super swanky. I mean, it's up there. So those are the 2 things I've been non-prototype, Lizzie, to your point.
James still plays games.
No, I know he does. That's why we asked him what he's been playing. I know, like,
no, I would. Prototypes. I remember seeing Blood on the Clock Tower being played at conventions for last, like right before the, 2019. It was all over the place.
I remember seeing it at like PAX West.
Yeah, right.
When we lived in Paris.
Yes, PAX West.
That was a long time.
Well, it's been a long journey for that game. It was like
4 moves ago for us.
It's been a journey, but I'm super glad that it's finally getting out to people.
Yeah,
and I'd love to get a chance to play it because I mean. Social production's hit or miss for me. I mean, the group makes it better in some ways, but I definitely would like to get a chance to play it.
Yeah, it does sound very interesting.
For sure. And it probably plays like a bunch of people, 12, 13 people, I would imagine. Probably a pretty big group.
5 to 20. 5 to 20.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's a big group. Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of there's like a lot of Twitch streamers that focus on that game. I don't know if it's like people, that's all they play. Like, I don't know if it's like the company that's always hosting it, but there's always a ton of people playing and watching that game. So yeah, I'm the same way, Derek. It's social deductions really hit or miss for me. So I definitely want to give it a shot, because just based on what James is saying, like it seems like, yeah, it does. It's not that anything was broken with the original, but just makes it a little more playable for people like me.
For science, you need to know for science.
That's right.
For science. This actually reminds me that, like, with social, like the whole hidden social deduction type thing. I remember I was watching TikTok a couple weeks ago, and there's a new video game that just came out. It's for 2 to 4 players, but it kind of has that Among Us vibes. But it's something West. It's maybe like Dead West, or I don't know. It's a Wild West. But so 2 people are sheriffs and 2 people are outlaws. But the whole shtick, the whole like weirdness of this game is that you, as an outlaw, have to act like an NPC the whole round to not get found out. So I'm watching this video, and these people are walking around trying to act like an NPC, just like randomly stopping, turning around, and like going and doing all this. It was super funny. I was like, that would be really fun to play. That would be fun.
What else we played? We're gonna like circle back around to us, because we only talked about like one game.
We're talking about Moonrakers, yeah.
No, we didn't talk about Genotype, which we played because it was like James's one of his top games. Yeah. So we ordered it right after that, and then we took like 6 months to play it.
But hey, we played it, and it was awesome.
It was really good.
Nice. It was so good.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna try to live stream that next on our next, like, whenever we get a free chance.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I have a hard time getting excited about, educational games just in general, because theme wise, like,
yeah,
I'm a please get degrees guy, so like I ain't trying to get smarter. So being educated through gameplay is like, it feels like work. I'd rather be a wizard shooting fireballs. But that game does it so well. And then it helped that Christina introduced it to me. Mm-hmm. And Christina is the biggest nerd you've probably ever met, especially when it comes to science and biology. And, she was getting so excited about all the peas in the game and the pea genomes and the monk, and telling me all the backstory. And I was at first I was like, there's no way I'm going to like this. But, if Christina's teaching the game, I play it. And then about halfway through, I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
Yeah, it is really good.
We very much enjoyed it. So
totally agree.
Definitely. I mean, I think we're going to try and play it again this weekend when people are older, because we just obviously did a 2-player game, but I would love to see it at like 3 or 4.
Yeah. It seems like it'll play really well.
Our next segment is brought to you by KickTraq. KickTraq is a crowdfunding analytics and discovery platform.
Hello and welcome back to the next segment, where we are going to talk about the KickTraq Spotlight. And today we're going to talk about a company that you might think is a big fish. You might think that this company is huge, but they're not. And they had a new game launch today with a Hanafuda Deluxe Edition and a new expansion to the 100 Tori. And that is from Pencil First Games. And Edo is an incredible person. The passion he has in this industry and everything he gives back to this industry, I want to make sure that he gets the spotlight, because he deserves it. And I am really excited. 100 Tori is an incredible tile laying game from Scott Caputo. And if you don't know Scott Caputo, he has done some incredible tile laying games himself. One of our favorites is Sorcerer City from Skybound. But 100 Tori is wonderful. And this is a new expansion that has some new locations, some new characters, some new little mini expansions that you can include into your game. And on top of that, they've added a new Hanafuda card game, which is a traditional Japanese playing card game. And it is absolutely stunning. Bruno Cathala did a solo mode for this. It also has a really good in-depth section about the history of the game, which I think is really important that we talk about and understand the history of what that game means to the Japanese people and their culture, which I think is great. And hats off to you, Edo, for doing that. So I am really excited. Vincent Dutray did the art on the Hanafuda deck of cards, and they had my money as soon as I heard that he did the art for that game. And if you've not played 100 Tori, this is a great time to get in, to get the game, to get the new expansion. and to add on this Hanafuda deck if you're interested in that. But I just wanted to give Pencil First the spotlight because I think a lot of times in the industry, consumers think that, you see a campaign get hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're like, oh my goodness, that's so much money. And this company has to be, massive. And it's not. Because of that, we're giving the spotlight to Pencil First Games here and Edo with their new 100 Tori Diverging Paths expansion and the Hanafuda deck of cards. So please take a look at those. We'll make sure you can find that on Kickstarter with a link in the podcast episode. And until next time, talk to you later.
I have been finishing up painting Foundations of Rome. We're hopefully going to play that this weekend with our friends that come over.
Obviously, we can't play it if it's not.
Oh no, we'll be playing it even if it's not finished, but I'll have it finished.
I know he's like spray painting out in the garage, and I'm like, "Don't spray paint my new car." He's like, "I'm like, you better not. My car better not have gray on it."
Well, just
he's like, "No." He's like, "It's not windy at all." I was like, "I don't really trust you."
Truck, Lizzie, it'll be fine. Just add character.
Right.
Yeah,
this is like my first new car ever.
Yeah.
They we ordered it from the factory because there's like a car shortage or whatever, and it was like a huge deal to get it. You did
customize order it. It's true.
Yeah.
So that's again, I love. So there's a really great. So Robert made a TTS mod for Foundations of Rome, and it is phenomenal. So if you want to play Foundations of Rome on TTS, let me know. We can play it. I played it last week or 2 weeks ago. And it is a gorgeous mod that Robert made himself. And I just love the game. It's just brilliantly simple, but has so much strategy. It's Emerson's best game to date. And I'm really excited to get to play it more.
Spectre Ops would like to have a conversation with you, buddy.
Well, okay. Spectre Ops is really awesome, but also is pretty niche, I think, for the type of game it is.
I definitely have some nostalgia for that. It was one of those first, like when I was first onboarding into board gaming, somebody was like, you should play this. And then I just remember going, I didn't know this sort of thing could be a board game. This is amazing. And then we had lots of arguments amongst our friends group that were playing it because, some of those rules were in the rule book was a little, so there was a lot of
discussion. I'm trying to remember.
Are they bringing back Foundations of Rome to Kickstarter, or are they doing another round?
They announced that there's like an expansion.
There's a new expansion.
They're going to bring back the game.
Yeah. I think the price will probably go up a bit, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only buying it if it'll fit in the base box. It's already way too big and takes up too much shelf space.
There's no way the expansion is going to fit the base box.
It's better. You're not going to get my money.
It's a cash grab.
I tell you what, that'll be my role on the podcast now. I'll use that voice.
Yes.
And I'll only come in as like the complaining crisscross Kickstarter person.
I love it.
How do you feel about this crowdfunding? Go, Superbacker James. How do you feel about this?
James, there.
Listen, I'll have you know I'm a superbacker. Okay. And I've backed over 217 projects.
I love it because it's true.
It's too funny.
Oh man.
So I don't know when it's going to be back out, but I need to jump on because I missed it the first time. It just flew under my radar. But now I'm like, I've heard nothing but good things. I mean, it looks awesome.
It is a collector's item to a T, right? I mean, it's just an insane production. So it has a hefty price, but I think that the gameplay is there. It's fun enough, and it's I like it. I'm really happy to have it in my collection.
No, the price point. I don't know when it's gonna be back out on Kickstarter. I'm hoping like a little later, just because my wallet's still a little hurting a little bit from the Castles of Burgundy that I went all in on. I had to.
Me too. Castles of Burgundy Deluxe. Are you joking? Acrylic tiles and miniatures, and it's incredible.
Yeah,
I did not know.
Incredible. Like that is. Please, somebody continue doing that.
What's the last time
if it's Awakened Realms,
Castles of Burgundy?
Whenever this one gets to the house. No, I actually have the app. I have the app.
I have played the game once.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like 4 years ago.
I played that literally every time we got together with Matt, Ben, and them. back when we played.
Did
At Fort
not.
Irwin, yes, we played Castleberry so
not.
much.
I hate it when mom and dad
I
fight.
was
So
there
much.
every time.
We
You guys
played Castle
played
so
side.
much. Oh,
You
Side.
guys
Yeah, we
played
can just
Rebellion.
move them over into the
Rebellion?
corner and they can just have the conversation.
I'm gonna hang out with
played
Superbacker James here, and
Blood Rage? I do not remember you guys ever playing Castles of Burgundy.
We played Castles.
We played
let's
Resistance.
see what we started. I love
I
it.
don't think you played Castles.
There,
Look what you
this
did,
is where
Ruel.
you need the BGG app, and you could go pull up those dates and be like,
You know
See?
what?
No, I would
Apples
love
of
to see the
Burgundy
data
right
on
here.
that.
I don't have the data. That's the problem.
Oh,
Does
That's the
Matt
problem.
or
I will
Troy
message him.
or-
I will be like, hey, did we play Castle of Burgundy?
like, hey, I
He'll
need
be
your
like,
help here.
We still have a group chat with these people, so I'm
Be
going to be
like-
like, just roundabout, how many times do you guys think that you played Castles of Burgundy? Bet it's like 5 or less.
Yeah, if it's 5, then whatever. Good. 5's good. 5's a good number. 5's good.
Okay.
5 is not bad in this industry.
But if we were meeting like 2 or 3 times a month for a year and a half,
Yeah. Anyways,
So I agree, though.
I'm very excited.
And that is a classic game that'll be easy to bring out when it looks that good. And I think that's what Foundations of Rome does as well, right? Like I brought it out over at Shu and Christina's, and I think 2 people went to the Arcane Wonders website while we were playing and ordered it while we were playing. They're like, I hope they still have copies left. I don't even care which ones are left. I'm getting whatever they've got. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I really like what Awakened Realms did. Like, I hope either if they keep doing it or somebody like take these games and make collector's items of them. Like, I just
Puerto
really want
Rico?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Puerto Rico is going to be
yes.
awesome. I will
Yes.
finally own that game.
Yes.
Finally own that game.
So excited about that.
But yeah, all the top 100s that are older that could use an update with, that makes perfect sense, right? Because you already know it's a fantastic game. And especially like for me, this pile of opportunity behind me, like the more rule books that I have to read, the more it feels daunting, right? So like
Mhm.
if I can buy a game that I already pretty much know and I'm going to be excited to play it a bunch, that's a win-win every
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a game that you enjoy and already like know you like it, right? I mean, what was it? Oh, they just who just did that? Board and Dice did that with the game we played.
oh yeah.
Lagrange. Lagrange got the
Oh,
same
yeah.
treatment, right?
Yep.
And I'm really into this. I hope it continues to be
Lagrange was a lot of fun.
something. So like
Enjoyed
Castle of
that.
Burgundy's from 2011. Like that's 10 years ago.
11 years ago.
11
Mhm.
years ago.
11
Like
if you can math.
yeah, well, not often do I. I'd love to see an epic Concordia. I mean, that was 2013, right? I'm just going based off, BGG Top 100 based on dates and stuff. Like, yeah, some really good stuff that could use kind of an update to modern board games.
It's funny that like 10, 11 years ago, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so
Well, I mean, even
old.
like 2000, early 2000s though.
Mhm.
So, because you've got 2008, you have Le Havre, which I think has a pretty big following.
Well, I mean, if it's in the top 100, obviously, it's
Mhm.
Well, and some of those
Doing
though
well.
would need, like, I think games have they've built games on the backbone of those games.
Mhm.
So there's games
Mhm.
now that are probably better games, and it's not
Mhm.
because they're better. It's just that they took what the chassis of that and just built on top of it. And so some of those games, if you were trying to do this, you're going to have to do what Castles of Burgundy did, which is
Right.
add a new expansion in there that
Yep.
really like updates some stuff or adds some more
Mhm.
crunchiness to it. But I'd be okay,
But not only that, like,
just keep
they're
it going.
reprinting all the promos, so you don't have to go back and track those down. Like
Right.
all the previous released content,
Yep.
like there were some
And
promos.
I really hate that because now it's cutting out the value of my previously bought promo.
Superbacker James.
You should have got that on eBay before they went to GameFound.
Really cutting out my perceived value there.
We were talking
man.
about Roxley Games earlier. That's an example that I really loved actually was what they did with brass. They took brass
Yeah.
and made it really nice. They actually split it off into 2 games, right? Lancashire and Birmingham. And Birmingham is one of my all-time favorites, to easily one of my top 10 games of all time. And just having that, looking at I never played the original, but just looking at the original board, I was like, why would I ever want to play that, compared to what we have now with the Roxley edition. Beautiful game.
Yeah. Birmingham's great. I remember playing that when it first came out with you. That was really good.
I remember we played like 1.5 games.
Yeah.
1.5.
I played it after that. Yeah,
we played half a game. He made me. I watched the whole Rodney video, which is like 40 minutes. 40 minutes. And then Derek.
Minutes? Oh my gosh.
Well, no, but like Derek did not watch it, and he's like, I know how to play. So we sit down halfway through the game. I try and do something, and Derek's like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, no, I just watched the video. Like, this is what he did. I can do this. And he's like, no, you can't. And so I like do something else, and then on his turn, he does exactly what I was trying to do, and I was like, excuse me, you just said I couldn't. He's like, no, you totally can do that. And so I left. I was like, no. He's like, let me ask in the group. And so like everyone confirmed that I was correct. And I was like, yeah, I just spent 45 minutes watching a video. So then the next night we played, it had a much better experience.
Yeah, you crushed me.
Classic Derek.
Because you weren't trying to like tell me, oh, you can't do that.
I look, that was my handicap. I was trying. I'm trying to get some extra points. I gotta be handicapped. I need some extra points. No, I was not cheating.
You were cheating. That is full blown cheating. That's not like, I don't know if that's the best move for you. That's like, don't do that because I'm gonna do that.
Don't take that worker spot from me because I really need it. No, that was good.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
After the group told you were wrong. It wasn't like, oh yeah, right. No, you're good. You're right, babe. It was like, no, let me ask the group. Oh, I guess the group said that they agree with you.
You were right. One of those.
At least the group has my back.
They do have.
Rodney had my back.
Rodney was there for you.
There you go.
Oh, what a national treasure.
He's not even our national treasure.
Well, by the way, so Rodney, I'm starting a campaign. I want to start calling him Mr. Rodney because he is the Mr. Rogers of board gaming. And so Mr. Rodney's neighborhood.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rodney.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm down with
if he put on a red sweater, it's not a sweater.
Cardigan or whatever.
Cardigan. Get him a red cardigan.
Yeah.
Anybody out there with those photoshopping skills, put him on an old Mr. Rogers.
He should totally start his watch it played videos now. Like come in,
like sitting down,
change his cardigan, change his shoes. Oh, I'm all about it. We need to do it.
If he did that, everybody lose their
Mr.
minds.
Rodney.
All right, everybody, head to Twitter. Let's make it happen.
All right, to the Twitters,
to the Twitter,
and then just all of a sudden just start. Rodney's gonna be like, "Why am I being tagged, Mr. Rodney? Like, what is happening right now?"
Did Mr. Rogers make it to Canada? Is it like as ubiquitous up there as it is?
I don't know.
Because that's like PBS is the public broadcasting. It's like American. Like I don't know.
Right,
did it make it to Canada? Would he understand what we're talking about, or he's like, why did someone just knit me a sweater?
I think he probably knows.
Maybe.
Well, why would you assume that? Like that's
that's a good point.
That's very American of you to assume.
Very American, yeah.
That was very American.
Is it worldwide? Okay.
Oh yeah.
He was worldwide. Okay.
Oh yeah, that man got a card game at Target last year.
That's true. There was a Mr. Rogers card game.
Yeah.
Target is also very American, though.
Listen, we don't need any naysayers right now. Okay, we've got
behind it. I just want to. I want to make sure he would understand like what it means to Americans.
We will like make sure he understands. We'll be like, watch this movie.
This is not like Steve Irwin. Like Steve Irwin was worldwide. Like everyone literally knows. Like everyone knows Steve Irwin. But like I just don't know. Like as amazing as Mr. Rogers is, and as well known as he is across the U.S., I just don't know if he had the global reach.
Well, we'll have to figure it out. It's Mr. Rodney. That's canon. Doesn't matter.
It's canon.
I've already
now.
tagged him on posts about Mr. Rogers now. We've already started this.
I have Canadian friends. I'm going to ask them tomorrow. Be like, if I said Mr. Rogers, do you know who that is?
I'm actually curious now about this. I
am too. Although I think as Americans, we should still refer to him as Mr. Rodney. At least here in the U.S., right?
Absolutely.
At least we know,
Yeah. It'll just be our little joke.
It'll be our little thing. Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, I mean, I don't have anything else to end the podcast here with. So unless anybody else wants to talk about a board game, we're right at about 55 minutes right now.
Oh, I can sneak in one more if you don't mind.
You can get it in there.
Wormholes, the new game, by Peter McPherson, designer of Tiny Towns. This is his it's a what is it? It's a pick up and deliver game. It's a sci-fi theme, very fun. It's very light, I would say, gateway-ish, maybe gateway plus game. Quick and fun, about 40 minutes. Michelle and I played it. I liked it too. I think it'll be better at 3 and 4. You're basically space Uber or space Lyft, just flying passengers around different planets. Very straightforward. You only have like 3 movement per turn, which is tough. But then you start dropping wormholes around, and the wormholes you can go from one spot to another for a free action. So that's when the game really opens up, and it's just you're just trying to complete all your little tasks and stuff. And it's funny, Michelle and I, we played it, we live streamed it, and really enjoyed it, played it again, and Michelle right off the bat is like, oh, this needs an expansion. I'm ready for an expansion already. I'm like, yeah, asymmetric abilities and all these other things. Maybe we could, I'm always about throwing some combat, even though it might not even fit into the game. I don't know, maybe fight your rival space Ubers or whatever. But a fun game. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I want to see how long it's going to last in my collection. I feel like Michelle's onto something as far as I think it needs an expansion to really, stick around. But for first time, a couple of games, we really did enjoy it. So that is Wormholes from Peter McPherson, and yet another hit from our friends at AEG. They always knock it out of the park.
I love their stuff. I finally unboxed my pirate game from them.
Dead Reckoning?
Dead Reckoning, yeah. I was like, this box has been sitting here.
Nice.
And I went all good. I have all of it.
So good.
I even got the little
that in, and it is what I always wanted that card crafting mechanic to be.
Okay, that's good to hear. I liked Edge of Darkness. I didn't love it. I love Mystic Veil. For whatever reason, Edge of Darkness just didn't grab me. But I hear that Dead Reckoning is the one for the card crafting system.
I'm very excited to play it. I'm very excited. Yeah. Because Edge of Darkness, I think for me, it was the theme. I wasn't super into it. I liked kind of what was happening with the tower, but I love pirates and I love building, you're building crew on your cards, right? So you're building up your cards with extra stuff. Right. It's like crew and stuff, but yeah. Do you have anything?
I'm very interested in this Mr. Rogers thing. I'm gonna have
we are
have to dig into it. I'm stuck on it, so I'm gonna have to research and poll people, and I will get back to you next episode.
Yes. I want a full report for the next episode. Is Mr. Rogers truly international?
I love it.
Oh yeah, because we know European people. I mean, I don't know if he made it to Europe.
Well, so does James.
But Canada,
James
I know. I'm just.
Do you know who this is?
I wasn't trying to
maybe
exclude
it's
them.
Mr. Bean. We all know who Mr. Bean is. I'm not really a big fan, but at least I know who he is.
I know who he is. I don't know if I've ever really watched his stuff though.
Yeah, I can never watch more than 5 minutes. It's just not for me. It's just not my jam.
He's in the holiday Love Actually.
Love Actually.
I mean, it's not Mr. Bean, but he's very much that
that character.
That's
Rowan,
right. Yeah.
It's Rowan Atkinson, right?
Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in that. Oh man.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
That's what I have seen him in, even though it's not Mr. Bean. I would be like, oh yes, he's in that movie that I like.
Yeah.
That's not Mr. Bean.
I know, I said
that. Oh, all right. Well, thank you so much for sticking with us on this ride, this journey on this podcast.
Very eclectic one.
You never know what you're going to get. Kind of just like a cornucopia of themes and conversations. So we're really excited to continue to have this podcast. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for
Lizzie.
Listening. Derek.
I'm Ruel.
I'm the redneck. Later, y'all.
See you later. Have a good one, everybody.
And that's it for this week's podcast. Thanks again to our amazing sponsors and our wonderful Patreon supporters. We'll see you next time on the Board Game Spotlight Podcast.